In this video, we'll see how to use a difference quotient to approximate the value of a derivative. Here's the problem we'll be working on. We're given a function, 4x squared minus 7x plus 15, and we're asked to approximate f prime of 5 using a difference quotient and h equals 0.01. So what we have to understand is that the value of our derivative, f prime of a, is approximately equal to f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h. That fraction is called a difference quotient. So when you see something referred to as a difference quotient, that's the fraction that you want to think of. So that fraction, f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h, that's just called the difference quotient. So the a in our example is going to be 5, because we're asked for f prime of 5, so a is going to be 5. And then h they give us as 0.01. So now we just have to plug those values into our expression. So we've got f of 5 plus 0.01 minus f of 5 divided by 0.01. So that's f of 5.01 minus f of 5 divided by 0.01. Okay, now we have to plug into our function. So again, remember, our function is defined up here as 4x squared minus 7x plus 15. So when we plug in 5.01, we're going to replace all of the occurrences of x with the number 5.01. So 4 times 5.01 squared minus 7 times 5.01 plus 15. And then from that subtract what we get when we plug in 5. So 4 times 5 squared minus 7 times 5 plus 15. And notice that that second set of expressions, all the stuff with 5 plugged in, notice that I put that in a big set of parentheses. That's a really common mistake on this problem, is to forget those parentheses. Your answer is not going to be right if you leave off those parentheses. Okay, now we're dividing that all by 0.01. And now we're just going to punch all that into our calculator. I recommend punching it in a little bit at a time. Don't try to type it all in all at once, because you're more likely to make a mistake and not realize it. So let's just do it one bit at a time. So on my calculator, I see that 4 times 5.01 squared works out to be 100.4004. And it's important in these kind of problems to keep all of the decimal places until the very end. When we multiply 7 times 5.01, we get 35.07 plus 15. 4 times 5 squared, that's 100. So I'm going to distribute that negative sign, minus 100. Minus a minus is a plus. 7 times 5 is 35, but because we're subtracting the entire parentheses and we've got a minus on the inside, that becomes a plus 35. And then minus 15. So I've worked out that second set of parentheses and also distributed my minus sign. And that's still all going to be divided by 0.01. Now when I work out everything on the top of that fraction, I get 0.3304. And then when I divide that by 0.01, I got my final answer of 33.04. And that's my approximate value of f prime of 5. That's not exactly what f prime of 5 would equal. To find that, we would either have to think about what happens as h gets closer and closer to 0, or we could use our derivative shortcuts. But in this case, we're not asked for any of that. We're asked for just an approximation using h equals 0.01.